Recently, on an edition of our sister series, Lessons in Leadership, with my colleague, Mary Gamba, our executive producer and co-anchor, we sat down with our colleague, Jacqui Tricarico, to not just talk about leadership. Jacqui is the executive producer of Think Tank and Remember Them, and on camera as a co-anchor of Remember Them. We talked to Jacqui about leadership and balancing family life with being a top-level journalist in public broadcasting. Here's that conversation with Jacqui. We are honored to welcome our colleague, longtime friend, Jacqui Tricarico, who is the executive producer of a terrific series called Think Tank with Steve Adubato, and also executive producer and co-host of Remember Them, that Jacqui co-anchors with me. Jacqui, how you doing today?
I'm good, Steve. Happy to be on Lessons in Leadership with you and Mary.
By way of background, Jacqui, we met when you were a student at Montclair State University, correct?
Yeah, MSU. I went there as a broadcast major. I think first I went in thinking as a broadcast major, okay, I'll be able to do some behind the cameras things and produce, maybe dabble in a few other things. And in the back of my mind, I always thought, hey, maybe one day I could do something on camera. It was always kind of a pipe dream, I thought, because it's hard to break in and be able to be in front of the camera. And you've given me the opportunity to do that. So I'm really grateful for that. And it's been really fun to learn along the way, learn from you, from Mary, and just really try to take this as a big learning opportunity and use it as a skill builder. And it's been really fun.
Mary, isn't it amazing that Jacqui and I were in class together?
I always, when you brought that up, I forgot about the history and I forgot about how and where we found Jacqui. And I'm just so grateful that we did find Jacqui.
Well, no,
well, it was me and Jacqui Hire too. The two of us were together at MSU in your class. And I think what happened, I'm pretty sure, but I have bad long-term memory, but I think I reached out to you and your organization and just was like, hey, you guys hiring?
And I recall now that you're saying that. Steve said, oh, there's this talented young woman in my class. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And you know, because Steve will run into people and he'll say, oh, you know, I gave this guy at ShopRite your business card, so he's going to call you. But I am so grateful that you came to us.
So I want to be clear. I was teaching a course in journalism and media at Montclair State at the time, and Jacqui Tricarico, who was not Jacqui Tricarico at the time, and Jacqui Hire, not Jacqui Hire at the time, two really talented young students who you see potential in. Jacqui Hire is still with us as the executive producer of State of Affairs and also has a larger role in terms of programming overall. But Jacqui, this is a second run with us. And the reason I say this is because you took some time away, and during that time, you did a lot of important things. So as we talk about leadership, one of the things is this: you have two young daughters. Your daughters are how old?
7. One just turned 7, and the other one is about to turn 5.
So let's talk about this. You cannot talk about leadership without talking about the incredible challenges of work-life balance. Now, we're pretty flexible at our organization. Family first is not just an expression for us. Hopefully, our team members believe that we believe it. How the heck do you lead and manage it all? And also, Rich, your husband's a big part of it as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that we both work from home. I'm in this room and he's right in that room over there. We both work from home. I feel like we're husband and wife, but we're also co-workers. We're friends. I don't know. It's all very blurred lines here when you've gotten into this new routine of you know, this post-pandemic world, right? We're all in this virtual world still, which is really bizarre. And it definitely has its benefits. Like you said, family first. I'm so lucky that at this point in my career and my life, I can still do drop-offs and pickups at school. I can still be with my kids if they want me to volunteer, like I did last week at the book fair that my daughter Lily was so excited for me to do. Things like that are just you know, irreplaceable time spent with you, like, you know, Steve and Mary, your kids grow so fast. So being there. Yeah. Being there and available and accessible and as much as I can be during this time in their lives is so important to me. But also there's a lot of challenges working from home as well. Being a mom to young kids, they know I'm here. They're very aware that I'm here. After school, I'm lucky that I have a babysitter a couple days a week that helps out. But if somebody gets hurt, if somebody's really upset about something, they're going to run to me no matter what. We have boundaries set. They know if I'm working, they can't bother me. But they know too, if I'm like working and I'm just like doing emails, or if I'm working like on a tape day and I'm on camera, like right now, they know they really can't bother me, but they've learned that they can come barging in the room hysterically crying if something goes wrong. So during those times, it is challenging because my brain has to shift, right? My brain's constantly shifting gears. Okay, now I got to be mom right now and help out, but then I got to jump back to what I was just doing.
And the thing Jacqui left out is in the middle of all this, she runs, I think, a half marathon. Where was the half?
Yeah, talk
I
about
did.
that.
Jacqui, where was that?
Why?
I did.
Which half marathon?
It was in Princeton. It was a very, very hilly course, I'll have to say. And why? Because 2 years ago when the pandemic hit, and I, like you said, I wasn't really working. I was freelancing.
3 years, Jacqui. Go ahead.
3 years ago. Yeah. Well, 2 years ago was when I did. Well, yeah, it was after. So the pandemic hit, and I was like, okay, well, I'm stuck home with my 2 young kids. I have no outlet. I've always worked out, but I've never considered myself a runner. And I started running. And part of the reason was to run away from my kids and my husband just for a little bit. I just needed space, needed some time to clear my head. And I got that time to just think about putting one foot in front of the other. And that's all I had to think about during that moment, during that 20 minutes or a half hour or 2 hours. And then I saw that Princeton was doing their half marathon, but virtually at that time. And I said, you know what? I need a goal. I'm signing up. I'm going to do it. So I signed up and I did the half marathon by myself virtually on my own course that I created with family and friends at the finish line for me, created my own finish line. And it just gave me so much pride. I was so proud of myself. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep running. So I kept running the past couple of years, but then this year I said, you know what, I'm going to sign up for that half marathon again. Torture myself, why not? And I wanted to do it in person because there's such a difference between running by yourself or running with thousands of people that all have the same goal in mind. So I signed up again. This training period was definitely a lot harder because of the time commitment and how much more time I need to be giving now to work and family and my kids and their schedules too. So it was definitely a lot harder this time around, and the course was insanely difficult, but I finished on November 13th and I crossed the finish line in 2 hours and 5 minutes, which was a better time than I thought I was going to get. And again, it brought me so much pride, but also my kids were there and they saw me, and that meant so much more to me for them to see that they can do anything that they want to put their minds to. And, most of the things that I do it for them. So.
What does that have to do with being a better leader?
I just find that you have to find things that you do just specifically for yourself to lessen your mental load. For me, waking up at 4:45 in the morning to get to a boot camp class at 5:30 is not the easiest thing. But once I get there and I get it done, I just feel so much better for the rest of my day. I feel like I can take on the world. Yeah, I feel like I can just take on the world, and that sets me up for a successful day. When I don't do it, I definitely feel more sluggish. I feel like I'm not at my best. So it's an important aspect of my daily life.
That's Jacqui Tricarico. She's a superstar, great leader. Mary is going to run the marathon next year. And I just want to
I support you, Mary.
Thank you.
Steve Adubato. See you next time.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by PSEG Foundation, Kane University, the Russell Berry Foundation, the New Jersey Education Association, the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, Atlantic Health System, Wells Fargo, Summit Health, and by the Fidelco Group. Promotional support provided by AM 970 The Answer and by Insider NJ.
I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when I was 2. It's hard to grow up with CF. But I have an awesome care team at Goriab Children's Hospital, helping me do the things I want to do, like play lacrosse. and now I've been recruited to play in college.
Where you go for pediatric care matters.
Atlantic Health System, because every moment is a moment that matters.